So Russell Peters, he's a good example. Peters, when he does his huge stadium shows, it's so interesting to watch them because he tells racist jokes nonstop, and you can feel that there's a palpable demand in the audience from the ethnic group that he hasn't yet skewered to be skewered so that they can show that they can take a joke, that they're in on the joke, right? Right. And so the comedians, they have that function of putting forward, what would you say, unpalatable truths, right? In a place where everyone's there to do that voluntarily. That's part of the game. How far can we push things? And then to get all bitchy about that and to try to cancel someone in consequence. I saw this one guy on YouTube who's complaining about you. You know, he said, first of all, maybe you'll recognize him. He said that, you know, you built your career as an ally of women. That was basically his point. Now that you've betrayed them with your jokes about domestic abuse. And so he was playing this, you know, I'm the friend of women sort of game. Yeah. But he's violating that contract too, which is that everybody's there in a comedy club to play with disaster. And you know, you're essentially supposed to go along with that.
I just don't understand how the environment isn't taken into consideration. Like the environment is the context. Think of comedy like a store, like a restaurant front, right? You go in there, the food's not for you, you can leave. You didn't have to stop in here. Comedy is such a niche field. I wouldn't consider stand-up comedy a mainstream art form. I wouldn't. It's not film, it's not television, it's not music, it's not as globally celebrated in every household, you know? So I think, it just blows my mind that people can't just let it be. If it's not for you, it's not for you.
Well, I see what's happening, I think. Like even this guy that criticized you in the manner that I just described, I found what he had to say, and him for that matter, contemptible. I thought it was pathetic. But this is something social media does, is that his video, even though I don't think it redounds to his credit, has given him more exposure likely than anything he will ever do in his life, right? Yes. And so one of the problems is, this is a huge problem on the social media side, is that we've put undue access to status in the hands of people who will misuse accusations to garner attention. You know, and you might say, well, why would people want that kind of negative attention? And the answer to that is, well, high school shooters will shoot up a high school for attention, and they'll shoot themselves afterwards, which seems to be run kind of contrary to their desire for attention. But what that just shows is how much people want attention. And the problem, one of the massive problems with social media is that it provides people who are willing to do something like savage your reputation with way more attention than they could ever accrue given their own status and abilities. And so what to do about that, I have no idea, although apologizing is a bad idea.
Yeah, absolutely not. I'll never apologize for a joke, ever. I just find the prioritization of human beings to be so fucked. You're on this earth for 80 years, let's call it on average, whatever it was. What's the average, 83, something like that?
80 funny years.
80
After
funny,
that,
exactly.
they're not so funny. Yeah.
I disagree.